Hello everybody, this is Talon. Nutrition plays a big part in the big picture of your health and fitness, and it can be pretty basic or very complex, depending on how committed you are to your goals and how far down the rabbit hole you dare to go. Now there's one thing about nutrition that everyone seems to be aware of. Nutrients. I mean, it's literally in the word. Today's society seems to be pretty familiar with what are known as macronutrients, those being carbohydrates, fat, and protein, and unfortunately alcohol. The main reason being that these four nutrients are the only ones that contribute anything calorically. The rest of the nutrients you see on a food label are what are called micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. They come in much smaller quantities and they don't contribute any calories. Instead, they maintain many essential bodily functions. Today, we're going to be going over how every vitamin and mineral works in your body, as well as examples of foods to eat to make sure that you get a sufficient amount. We'll start with vitamins. Vitamin A, also known as retinol, is essential for vision and will protect against cataracts, but also plays an essential role in bone development and immune health, as well as combating several types of cancer. Good sources of vitamin A include eggs, shrimp, milk, carrots, and pumpkin. Vitamin B1, also known as thiamine, helps convert food into energy and is needed for healthy skin and nervous system function. Good sources of vitamin B1 include pork chops, salmon, and soy products. Vitamin B2, also known as riboflavin, also helps convert food into energy but is also necessary for healthy blood. Good sources of vitamin B2 include milk, whole grains, and leafy green vegetables. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, has a similar function to the last two, aiding in the conversion of food into energy while also supporting the circulatory system. Good sources of vitamin B3 include poultry, mushrooms, potatoes, and peanut butter. Vitamin B5, also known as pantothenic acid, aids in the creation of lipids, neurotransmitters, steroid hormones like testosterone and progesterone, and hemoglobin, a protein in your red blood cells. Good sources of vitamin B5 include chicken, broccoli, avocados, and tomato products. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, helps regulate amino acids that play key roles in your sleep, appetite, and mood. It also aids in the creation of red blood cells and maintaining your cognitive and immune functions. Good sources of vitamin B6 include fish, legumes, potatoes, and bananas. Vitamin B7, also known as biotin, helps synthesize glucose and breaks down fatty acids. It's also necessary for healthy bones and hair. Good sources of vitamin B7 include whole grains, organ meats, egg yolks, and soybeans. Vitamin B9, also known as folic acid, is necessary for cell creation and should be taken regularly by pregnant women to ensure the brain health of the child. Good sources of vitamin B9 include asparagus, okra, spinach, and orange juice. Vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin, assists in making new cells and breaking down certain amino acids and fatty acids. It also preserves nerve cells, red blood cells, and DNA. Good sources of vitamin B12 include meat, poultry, fish, milk, and eggs. Now, if you're wondering what happened to vitamins B4, 8, 10, and 11, so am I. Apparently, they no longer fit in the parameters of a vitamin, which is, by definition, an essential nutrient for normal human growth that your body does not produce enough of on its own, and it must be obtained through diet. Choline is not a vitamin, but it behaves like a B vitamin, as it helps make and release a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which aids in many nervous system activities. Good sources of choline include milk, eggs, salmon, and peanuts. Vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, is an antioxidant that helps protect your cells from free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage your body's cells. It is also shown to help protect against cataracts and certain cancers. Good sources of vitamin C include citrus fruits, broccoli, bell peppers, and strawberries. Vitamin D, also known as calciferol, maintains normal levels of calcium and phosphorus in your blood, both of which strengthen bones. Good sources of vitamin D include fortified milk, butter, and fatty fish. Vitamin E, also known as alpha-tocopherol, is an antioxidant that protects other nutrients like vitamin A and certain lipids from being damaged. It is also shown to help prevent Alzheimer's disease. Good sources of vitamin E include vegetable oils, leafy green vegetables, whole grains, and nuts. And lastly, vitamin K, also known as that activates proteins and calcium essential for blood clotting. Good sources of vitamin K include cabbage, liver, broccoli, and kale. You'll notice we're missing a few letters here. That's because nutrition science has become more sophisticated in recognizing and categorizing certain nutrients to more accurately depict what they are. For instance, vitamin F was reclassified as an essential fatty acid known as linoleic acid. Vitamins G and H were reclassified as B vitamins, specifically B2, riboflavin, and B7, biotin. Vitamin J is what is now known as choline, that non-vitamin. And I literally cannot find any evidence that vitamin I ever existed, so that's fun. Now moving on to minerals, first up we have calcium. Calcium builds and protects bones and teeth. It also helps with muscle contraction and relaxation, blood clotting, nerve impulse transmission, hormone secretion, enzyme activation, and maintaining healthy blood pressure. Good sources of calcium include dairy products, tofu, kale, and salmon. Chloride balances fluid in the body and is an essential component in digestion. Chloride is most commonly found in table salt, sodium chloride. Chromium enhances the activity of insulin, which helps maintain normal blood glucose levels. Good sources of chromium include meat, eggs, poultry, nuts, and cheese. Copper is essential in metabolizing iron and maintaining the immune system while also aiding in the making of red blood cells. Good sources of copper include liver, shellfish, nuts, seeds, and beans. Iodine influences thyroid hormones, which are in charge of regulating your metabolism. Iodine is most commonly found in iodized salt and seafood. Iron helps move oxygen throughout red blood cells and muscle cells through hemoglobin and myoglobin respectively. It's also necessary for chemical reactions to make amino acids, collagen, hormones, and neurotransmitters. Good sources of iron include meat, poultry, eggs, green vegetables, and whole grain. Magnesium is needed for many chemical reactions in the body and contributes to muscle contraction, blood clotting, regulating blood pressure, and building bones and teeth. Good sources of magnesium include spinach, broccoli, cashews, whole wheat, and milk. Manganese helps the formation of bones and metabolizes amino acids, cholesterol, and carbohydrates. Good sources of manganese include fish, nuts, legumes, and whole grains. Molybdenum is an essential part of processing proteins and DNA, as well as helping break down toxic substances that enter the body. Good sources of molybdenum include nuts, milk, and legumes. Phosphorus helps build and protect bones and teeth, and also helps convert food into energy. Good sources of phosphorus include dairy products, meat, eggs, potatoes, and almonds. Potassium balances fluid in the body, is needed for muscle contractions, and maintains your heartbeat. It is also shown to lower blood pressure and maintain bone health. Good sources of potassium include bananas, avocados, grapefruit, and fish. Selenium is an antioxidant that protects against cell damage. It also helps regulate thyroid hormones. Good sources of selenium include meat, fish, and walnuts. Sodium balances fluid in your body's cells, helps send nerve impulses, and is necessary for muscle contraction. It also has a huge impact on your blood pressure. Sodium is most commonly found in table salt. Sulfur is necessary for stabilizing protein structures and contributes to healthy hair, skin, and nails. Good sources of sulfur include meats, fish, poultry, nuts, and legumes. Lastly, zinc aids in the creation of new cells and is necessary for proper function of the immune system, wound healing, and your taste and smell. Good sources of zinc include red meat, oysters, beans, and nuts. As you can see, there's a lot that goes on under the surface when it comes to your nutrition. That being said, you can go as deep as you want, or if you don't want to stress about it, simply eating a balanced and colorful diet will most likely take care of all of this. Now, if you enjoyed the video, or at the very least learned a little something, I encourage you to subscribe and come back next week, so I can continue helping you become the greatest athlete you can be.